everybody who knows our work will not expect anything technical that I'm going to talk, because I don't know the technology. We work with communities. I want to give you a little heads up on this chart. This chart is basically the geo map of all the community networks that we have done in the last 15 years. In India, they are 280. That doesn't mean that they are the only community networks. There are many more, but we have been able to do it. And Luca has been able to look at many of those networks and document it also. There are three things that I want to say. Internet is global, but users are local. Again, internet is global, but community networks are local. Not only local, it's hyper-local. And not only hyper-local, but it is used by those who are otherwise unserved by the telcos, unserved by or underserved by any of the normal telecom service providers. And therefore, these are the people who are non-technical, but still user, and the provider of the network of such people are somebody who is also have to be appropriated locally so that you can manage the network. So I just want to give you a scenario that we go to the village, we find that they are not connected, then we build capacity, then we involve them, and then they build a network or a Wi-Fi and then towers, and then we also work with them how to take care of the network. Now this cybersecurity is the latest elephant in the room of all those people, right? And I'm talking to you everything not from the technology service provider or a server provider, but the people. I am first time introduced to my network. I am getting a message. I am sitting on a computer and working, and my service provider is not AT&T or somebody else, but somebody very local. And then I get a message which says, please click here, and I click that, and I lose money from my bank, right? Then another friend of mine who is actually had no jobs is now working for similar kind of job, who is actually making people fool locally and actually doing cyber frauds, by sending you information, and they are collecting the local numbers, local contacts, and giving it to somebody else, and they are getting messages. And since you are first time user, you are being very naive and very simple that, oh, some message has come, I must act.
Just to stress, this is a hypothetical friend, so he's not describing a real friend.
No.
It's
a real. In fact, if you come to the next session, I'm going to explain even in detail. But what I am saying is that cyber safety, cyber security, from technical perspective, but from the user perspective, what is the behavioral change we required? What kind of critical digital literacy we required from the user is the biggest issue of this area. But somehow, most of the work that is going on in the cyber security, cyber safety is very technical. As if we think that only firewall will solve all the problems. Or we think that, just identification of something or surveillance or data protection will solve all the problems. But actually it will not. Because I, as a user, even without violating, I am getting fleeced. I am being compromised. I am being trolled. My online data is being, it's something like I'm a member of a matrimonial site. I have given my face and everything, and then it is just taken from there. And you are sitting just in the corner of a village, and you have no idea how to deal with this one. When you go to cybercrime office and do the complaint, they say that even we don't know how to trace such people. Where are they? So I'm not trying to give any solution, but I want to tell that the cyber safety, cyber security, and cyber data protection is not only a subject of top-down model. It is a subject of bottom-up social and behavioral norms-based cyber capacity building. And somehow that is not taken into consideration in most of the planning. And when we are working in an alternative community networks, or providing a last mile access, it is very important that we have our own capacity building framework. We have our own content. We have our own local, hyper local, contextual content to make people know what are the do's and don'ts of being connected, to be cyber safe, to be cyber preventive, rather than curative. You must be knowing what are the things that we need to know, and that is what the experience that we are doing in many of our communities. There are three things that we are doing. Number one, we are trying to see if women could take the responsibility of the hyper local situation, so that they do not indulge into unnecessary information flow than what is needed. Education, domestic issues, business, day-to-day lives, and all that. The second thing what we are doing is that we are creating hyper-local information trustees, which you can say information trustee is a describing name, but we are trying to create a situation that they become local fact checkers. They actually tell what are the do's and don'ts of the people who are coming to the center or the place where they get connected. And the third thing is that we are doing a role play of cyber safety security by doing street plays, by doing local language oral content, so that it can be disseminated with lots of people. These are the things that I wanted to share, but basically trying to highlight that the global technology, the global access issues, the problems are always local. And when we are talking about cyber capacity, we need to have a local solutions. Thank you.